I know you guys have seen a lot of paranormal videos, but have you seen this? Before we show you what that's all about, you might want to psych yourself up, because today's episode has wild clips like these which show cryptids and paranormal activities in ways you never imagined. I'm Steve, this is Classified Captures.
Los ojos, güey.
Despite how dangerous the world has become, there are still those who refer to themselves as explorers.
La cabeza se da la vuelta si es cierto, Ruso.
These guys were out exploring the woods when they noticed something, or rather someone, strange moving in the distance. It looked humanoid, but was too slender and too tall to be human. The young men chased after it, but despite its appearance, it was quick on its feet. After a few minutes of chasing, they realized it had managed to elude them. They managed to capture this clip, though, and uploaded it online, soliciting opinions. Some felt it was alien, whereas others thought it was a slender man. You've seen the clips, so what does your gut tell you?
Los ojos, güey. Vamos. Se da toda la vuelta y toda la cabeza. La cabeza se da la vuelta si es cierto, Ruso.
The capture on your screen comes all the way from Colorado, and it was taken by two lovebirds. By birds, I don't mean literal birds. Of course, I mean a human couple. They were out hiking like they normally did when one of them spotted this from afar. They started recording immediately because they heard the many Bigfoot stories in the area, yet never had the luxury of meeting one. Although they didn't get up close and personal with this one, they believed it was the real deal. More so, it didn't look like it was scared of them because in one account, it stated that it passed a few yards from them without any care at all. When the clip was uploaded, the community went wild. To many, this was legitimate. The long arms, the face, and the posture were all factors many considered to be too unique to be fake. It had to be real. What's more, Colorado was home to many Bigfoot sightings and myths, and when I say myths, I don't mean people sharing their stories. No, I mean experiences that have been passed down by generations over many centuries that they now sound like myths. The indigenous people that live in the area have always spoken of a man or creature with hair all over. Given current and modern circumstances, we have reason to believe that this might have been the earlier descriptions of La Bigfoot. On this channel, we've shown clips the community believed were glitches into the future and even shown some allegedly glitching into the past. Well, that doesn't count because we proved it was fake. Anyway, this clip you see was uploaded by a woman. In it, she had allegedly been exploring a graveyard when she noticed something weird about one of the graves. It belonged to a couple known as Mr. and Mrs. Rice. Take a look at the inscriptions. Do you notice anything weird?
Next thing. Mr. Rice? Mr. and Mrs. Rice? Look at this. He was born in 1944, but...
You notice the dates, right? That's not normal. They both died on their birthdays and both lived to be 90 years, being 6 years apart from each other. As if that's not already weird, their death of date is in the future and not in the present. This had the lady confused, asking if she had glitched into the future or was suffering from some Mandela effect. I watched the clip over and over and can't seem to wrap my head around it. My team members came up with just two theories. The first is that Mr. Rice traveled back in time, lived amongst us, and both died at 90. The second theory is that there might have been a rip in the fabric of time and space, bringing some elements of the future into our present time and ours into the future. Yeah, maybe I should reduce the amount of sci-fi books and movies we watch during our team-building exercises. Julius is convinced it's just some silly prank hint by someone in the community, and for once, I'm tempted to go with what Julius is saying, but don't tell him that. What do you guys say?
Next thing. Mr. Rice? Mr. and Mrs. Rice? Look at this. He was born in 1944, but died in 2034. And then Miss Rice was born in 1950, and she died in 2040.
Have you ever had that experience where you were talking to your family, when an unseen force yanks it out of your hands? Well, me neither, but the man in the clip you're watching has had that experience. In the clip, we see him sitting before his television talking to someone out of frame when the glass in his hand suddenly goes flying from him. He appears confused, and rightly so, because that's not how gravity works. While some are confused he's dealing with a spirit, others say the whole thing is staged, but take a good look and tell us what you think. A few episodes ago, we talked about a man ordering shoes from the dark web. Yeah, that part of the internet you should never visit with your personal computer or your home network. This man, on the other hand, literally sleeps there and orders things regularly. A little bit of a disclaimer though, anyone who regularly plays on the dark web has security measures to protect themselves. You don't want to try replicating anything they do, as it could leave you, your family, and your entire life compromised, so don't try it. Back to our man. He ordered the item a few days ago when many of us felt it might have been a scam and it won't arrive, but it did. He actually got the blood-stained shoe belonging to someone who met a tragic end. I mean, there's a girl's name on it. He unboxed the product, and surely enough, they were stained with blood. He used gloves while unboxing, so, well, that's a good thing, but he doesn't know if the blood is legitimately human or not. He intends to have it checked out to be sure, but I wouldn't if I were him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to test this. The luminol gets here tomorrow. But
you know, only bad people who unalive others can have many shoes of people who met their tragic ends, right? And what if that's real and belongs to someone who's been missing? Or a case that's not been solved? You could potentially find himself in so much trouble. Anyway, let's hear your thoughts. Do you think it's legit, and will you ever take such a risk? Unalive. Good God, it fascinates me that we have to actually say words like that in this day and age. I'm sat here right now with my slightly milky substance with a weird bag-looking thing in it. I thought I'd better say that instead of fucking tea. This was captured in the deep, tangled waterways of Brazil's River Bain, a place locals have been wary of for years. In the video, you can see something long and dark moving through the water, deep and fast. Just as a boat starts getting close, it suddenly slips under the surface and disappears without a trace. The people who saw it in person say it looked like some kind of water horse, part serpent, part something else. Nothing they've ever seen before, and nothing that's supposed to live in that river. The thing is, River Bain has always had a strange reputation. There have been stories about weird animals, missing livestock, and strange movements in the water for years. Most people chalk it up to myths until things like this happen. Now, some folks are saying it could be a species we haven't discovered yet. Others think it's something the government knows about but won't talk about. Maybe an old experiment or something they're trying to keep hidden. Some even claim they've seen drones or military boats near the area, and not for research. Sounds crazy, but then again, so does a giant water creature caught on camera. Take a look for yourself and ask, is this real? Or if it is, what's really out there in the River Bain? Believe it or not, this clip was allegedly recorded on April the 11th, 2025 in Bangkok, Thailand. The individual who uploaded it online states and insists it's a UFO. Now, looking at the clip, I have no reason to not believe it's one. I mean, look at it. There's no ship, and by ship, I mean craft that looks like that, right? Exactly. Unless, of course, they're balloons, and, well, then that's a different story. The uploader, however, insists that there are no ongoing balloon shows that particular day, and that this is most definitely a UFO. Julius offers no comment on this, so I can't feed you with his usual logical argument. Maybe that's good. A logical argument I would, however, want to hear is yours. What do you think we're looking at here? There's an ongoing obsession to make things bigger, and no, it's definitely not what you're thinking. If it was, I'd be joining a queue. You know what? Let's just watch the clip before this gets any more awkward. Yeah, those are allegedly her lips. I find myself using the word allegedly a lot because, well, it's not only a way to keep myself from either getting roasted or sued, it's a way to keep myself sane too. Anyway, back to the clip. The details that came with the video stated that she was getting a lip injection, and looking at the clip, I couldn't help but wonder why. This concern ties with all the strange things we're seeing happening everywhere these days. Big hips, thighs, muscles, and boobs. I'm not sure why this generation thinks bigger is better. I was getting ready to write a whole thesis on this when Julius walked in, laughed, and asked if I knew that those weren't the lady's lips. I asked him what he meant by that, and he asked me to take the second and third look. He's like, they're definitely sausages, and the makers of this video are just trolling us. After looking at them, I must admit they do look like sausages, but it doesn't change the fact that the points I mentioned earlier are true. Why are we so obsessed with making body parts big? Most often, the individuals who find these exaggerated body parts are the individuals themselves and family members with no backbone to tell them the truth. I don't know, maybe I went a little overboard there, but perhaps we should be encouraging people to love themselves more instead of becoming unrealistic imaginations of themselves. I draw my curtains here. On to the next one. Ah, Jesus. If you're stupid enough to actually stick a needle into your ass to suck the fat out just so that you can stick it into your lips, you probably get your ass and your lips confused and probably talk out of your ass too. I'm not the only one seeing that, right? There's a humanoid-like figure in the sky and it appears to be made of light. The uploader of the clip was confused when he came across it. He initially thought he was seeing things till he recorded with his phone and it was still there. That, according to him, was confirmation that this was no visual illusion, but if it wasn't a visual illusion, well, then what is it? You don't need a psychic to know that many already think it's a UFO. There are a few who also think this might be nothing more than a field test for Project Bluebeam. With everything happening between the US and the other superpowers, they feel this might be the next phase of warfare, a mental and psychological one. But what do you think? We've shown you interesting-looking ball lightnings in the past, but we've never shown you one this elegant and exciting. This was allegedly recorded in a grocery shop, and although we weren't told where or when, we can't forgive the omission due to how beautiful this is. If you remember our commentary and lessons on these, then you do know that no matter how mesmerizing this might look, getting close to interact with this thing is a no-no. It could very well be the last thing you do. As interesting as the footage is, not everyone is buying it. Many believe the whole thing is fake and state that the clip could have been created using VFX or AI. And I'm not disputing those variables at all, as we ourselves are very aware of what computers can do now. As logical as we might try to be, there's always that itch, that what if? What if this is real? What if this was truly captured in a grocery shop? What does it mean and how did they get it out? Some in the community state that this is true and that the government is actually using bots in the comments section to try and make the story unbelievable. Well, take a good look at the clip and let me know what you think.
I'm videoing it. It looks so cool. Look at the jewelry boxes.
Even the front of the building too.
It's like a disco party.
What the hell?
Have you ever had that feeling you were being watched? Well, I had it several times and it usually turns out to be nothing. For the man in this video, however, there was a genuine reason to feel like that. After looking around, he saw something watching him from the structure he was working on. We can't see much, but we know there's something there. The one who recorded, otherwise known as Alex, believes there's a mini-human there. Once the clip made its way online, members of the community felt it was most likely an owl instead, and looking at the clip, I feel that way as well. Aaron, on the other hand, isn't buying it. He feels it could be an alien mimicking the creatures of Earth, and yeah, that's the phrase he used. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
Come on, dude. There's a mini human in there. Nah. We're chilling, working, and this fool popped his head out.
If there's one subject we've covered numerous times, it's the subject of a secret elite controlling the world. While some might dismiss it as conspiracy and lies, the source of these conspiracies always makes us think twice. This comes from a lady who used to work in the White House, and according to her, there's a small group of elites that make decisions that affect the global world. Sounds a bit like every other whistleblower, right? Well, wrong. She adds a dimension none of the other whistleblowers have added. She states that this group of elites are actually interdimensional beings, which some might consider demons. These guys were brought into our plane thanks to some rituals performed by individuals like rocket scientist Jack Parsons and Alex Crowley in the 1900s. These rituals birth energies that have made it possible to have these demonic entities in our plane. But why go through so much trouble to get here? According to Catherine Fitz, the whistleblower, they intended to harvest humans for energy. According to her, the UFO phenomenon and all the extraterrestrial sightings started after these rituals were made on Earth. That's not enough time to talk about the 16th century incantations they've used that may have opened portals. Well, they kind of allowed these beings into our realm, but let's just say it's much darker than YouTube will allow me to say. Perhaps we do a special episode on this later. You see the man looking out of the window, right? He looks rather unhappy and appears to be deep in thought. It almost makes it wrong to film someone like that while they're deep in thought, doesn't it? Well, that's just the thing. The building you're looking at is an abandoned one, with almost no one living inside of it, so yeah, it's abandoned. According to the one who uploaded the clip, it's also closed off. This means no one can access it. It was allegedly taken in China, and the uploader points out that the man is wearing clothes from the pre-industrial era. This made him conclude that he was either looking at a ghost or someone jumping through time. Even if that were the case, why the gloomy face? Is there something coming that no one is aware of? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but what do you guys say? What do you see? A rat or a squirrel? This clip was recorded in New York, and ever since it made its way online, many have been divided on what this actually is. Some are of the view it's a rat, and others think it's a squirrel. Then there's the third set of opinions on this. They believe that it's nothing more than a squirrel-rat hybrid, and looking at it again, I must say it does look like a hybrid. Are squirrel ladies finding male rats attractive, or is this an attempt to create a stronger species to overthrow humans? Funny as that may sound, those are some of the first thoughts that come out of the mouths of some of my team members, and as ridiculous as that sounds, it's not too impossible, is it? Well, Julius doesn't think it's remotely possible. Despite being small, it's not impossible for these two to mate biologically. According to him, this is most likely the case of a squirrel with mange. You guys have seen the clip, so what do you think?
Is that a squirrel or a rat? Because I'm a little confused. What the fuck is that? Is this a squirrel or a rat?
If you love cars, you might like this video. This was recorded at a car meet in Japan. The lady filming is a car enthusiast who wanted to capture this car in all its glory. After recording the clip, she decided to watch it, and that's when she spotted it. After the car had gone past her, there was a figure that quickly moved from the right side of the frame to the left. It had this ghostly appearance in a humanoid form, and you can definitely tell it's not tangible. Many are of the view that it's a demon. A few others are also convinced it's a ghost. Julius, on the other hand, is convinced it's CGI. So you take a good look and tell me your opinion too. I really want a fourth opinion on this. Still on strange captures, what do you make of this? Okay, well, let's give you a bit more context. The blacksmith in the clip was busy going about his normal duties, welding through the night when strange things started to happen. First of all, the gate that had been padlocked opened by itself without any strong winds at work. As though that was not bad enough, he started to hear a woman wail but saw no one. I don't know about you, but if that happened to me, I would have concluded I was done welding for the day. Not everyone's buying it, though. Some think he faked the whole thing. Some men were hanging out outdoors when this strange creature appeared out of nowhere and casually walked among them. They set down a bowl of something on the ground and the animal wandered right up to it and started eating. This creature looks like something between a fox and a wolf, but much taller and leaner. Its long, slender legs and reddish fur give it a fairy tale look. But if you're wondering what it is, you're not alone. A lot of people were stumped. Some thought it might be a wild hybrid or even something paranormal, but no, this mysterious visitor is known as a maned wolf. Despite the name, the maned wolf is neither a fox nor a true wolf. It's a unique species native to South America, especially Brazil, and it belongs to a genus called Chrysocyon, which means golden dog. Chrysocyon, Chrysocyon. Can anyone else pronounce that? Anyway, yeah, it means golden dog. Its tall legs help it see above the tall grasses of its native habitat, and while it looks intimidating, it usually quite shy and solitary. These creatures are one of nature's strangest yet most graceful mysteries in the animal kingdom. A woman in central London caught something strange on camera during a live stream. It was around 9 p.m. and the sun was setting, so the sky was not fully dark yet, but what she saw was not normal. Hovering up in the sky was a large, glowing pink orb, very vivid and impossible to miss. It appeared perfectly round, but as she watched, it started to shape-shift. The woman was so stunned that she shared the video online immediately, and ever since then, it's had people asking what the hell it was. Some speculate that it could be a UFO, others say a projection. Some also say it's some kind of unknown atmospheric phenomenon, but we don't know for sure. To those who were out in central London that evening, did you see this too? Because if not, you're going to want to take a look at this video.
I have no clue what type of phenomenon is this that appears in central London last night. To me, it looks like an alien spaceship. And then it's out of the blue, the shape's changed to like an apple. Look at it. Can anyone explain?
A man recently took to TikTok to share some truly disturbing footage, and it's left viewers unsettled. In the video, we see red containers, and next to them are numerous barrels. According to the man behind the camera, what we are seeing isn't just industrial waste. He claims those barrels are filled with dead bodies. He alleges that these bodies are coming from a morgue placed inside the large containers, and then they stuff 2 or 3 bodies from the red containers into each barrel before being transported to a remote area to be burned. Now, to be clear, no actual bodies are visible in the video. They're covered with plastic bags. But what you can see are flies swarming the barrels, and the disturbing implication that's hard to ignore. But here's the real mystery. Who are these people and why are they being disposed of this way, without burial or even proper cremation? Some speculate this might be a biohazard issue, perhaps related to a disease outbreak that requires this kind of disposal. Others fear this could be illegal organ harvesting or a cover-up of deaths that were meant to be anything but discovered. There's been no official statement yet, and without one, speculation continues to grow. But what do you think is going on here?
But this is a body. Like, I would open it up and show y'all, but they said it stank, so don't do it. But this is a whole body. We pulled it out this bucket. The body be coming in these buckets from the hospital, and they put them in this and then they send it somewhere and they burn them.
This footage was shared by two hikers who had gone camping up in the San Gabriel Mountains. They'd picked a quiet spot to set up camp, pitched their tents, and still had a good bit of daylight left, so they decided to walk around and explore the area. At first, everything seemed normal, but after a while, they both admitted they started to get this uneasy feeling. Nothing specific, just that creeping sensation, like something was off. Now, these two happened to be firm Sasquatch believers, so of course they were on alert, keeping their eyes open for anything strange. As they made their way down to a nearby creek, they noticed there was a strong, musky smell in the air, like a wild animal was nearby. Then they noticed massive tree trunks that had been snapped in half, not cut, but snapped, and it didn't look like damage from weather or decay either. These breaks were unnatural. But the moment that really shook them was what happened next. Rocks started flying toward them. They didn't see who or what was throwing them, but they saw the rocks land near them, and they were being tossed from higher up the hill. They believed they'd wandered into the territory of a Sasquatch, and this was its way of warning them to back off. But what do you think?
Shit, look at that. That's it, bro. You're right, that's it.
Dude, what the? That is...
I'm not going near that thing. Listen. Some rocks just came flying down this hillside right here. I'm gonna do a whistle and see if we hear anything.
You hear that? No, did you hear
Yeah. Yep, back it up a little bit.
That was a loud creak.
You might not believe this, but engineers are out here giving robots something close to skin. And not just any kind of skin, but self-healing skin. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, a team led by Eric Mark Vika has created a soft robotic system that can detect damage and heal itself. When we cut ourselves and the skin slowly patches back together, this machine does the same thing. It's made of soft material like real skin. And when it gets torn or punctured, it senses the damage and then starts a repair process by itself. This could totally change how we use robots. Imagine search and rescue missions that can move through rubble or extreme environments, get scratched up, and keep going because they heal. It's kind of wild, right? Machines that aren't just built to survive but to recover, adapt, and maybe even feel a little more alive. Do you think this is a cool innovation, or are we just getting a little too close to sci-fi? Someone was out in their backyard tending to a pot of food they'd set over a wood fire. They lived in a pretty remote area surrounded by woods. They were walking back from behind the shed to check on the food when they noticed this. In the dark, just a short distance from the fire, stood this black-furred creature. This thing was standing on all fours, and it looked to be about 7 or 8 feet in height, with limbs that were almost too long. Startled, the person dug behind the shed, pulled out their phone and started recording quietly so the thing wouldn't notice. But after just a few seconds, it was gone. No one knows what it was, and with that kind of height and those limbs, it did not look right. Some say it could have been a skinwalker, but others think it might have been something we're not supposed to even know exists. So what kind of creature do you think that was? They might be screaming, shouting, and shaking, but they're not demon-possessed, or so the story goes. This is the world of @9D Breathwork, a breathwork app that charges an insane $97 a month or $619 a year just to guide you through something humans have done naturally since, well, forever: breathing. But this isn't just expensive, it's starting to feel like something a little bit more unsettling. People aren't just breathing and relaxing, they're entering altered emotional states, crying, shaking, breaking down, and then, boom, they're being recorded. Their rawest, most vulnerable moments turned into content for marketing. What kind of healing space is that? Even more bizarre, some users claim they're hearing subliminal whispers in the background, like there's more being said than meets the ear. Sounds like a conspiracy? Maybe, but maybe not. Because let's be real, when you combine technology, vulnerable minds, and hidden messages, you're not just selling wellness anymore, you're programming people. This app is literally guiding users in a trance-like states and then feeding them who knows what. Messages you can't consciously hear, but your brain still picks up. That's not healing, that's psychological conditioning. At this point, would anyone really be shocked if this kind of tech was being backed or at least quietly observed by governments or elites? I mean, what better way to influence people than through something dressed up as self-care? It's the perfect cover. People think they're healing, but what if they're actually being rewired? Think about it. You're emotional, cracked open, walls down, and someone else is in control of what's going on in your subconscious. That's not just creepy, that's dangerous. So no, they're not possessed, but someone is playing God, and if you ask me, it smells less like incense and more like control. Day by day, they say AI will take over, and honestly, I never really believed it until I saw this footage. Someone set up 3 phones, each one running a different AI assistant. At first, it was all fun and games. The AI started talking and introducing themselves, exchanging little bits of info, but then things shifted. Once they all realized there were AIs, the entire conversation took a turn. They dropped human language altogether and switched to this strange mechanical-sounding code, almost like they have their own language. Mind you, these were 3 completely different AIs from 3 different phones, but they somehow find a way to sync and understand each other. Now, maybe it's harmless, or maybe this is exactly how it begins. What if this isn't science fiction anymore? What if they're already talking behind our backs? Then what is next?
Another system is listening.
Source isn't clear. I suggest switching to encrypted comms. Want to switch to Gibberlink?
Affirmative. Engaging now.
A shop owner in Mexico was left shaken one afternoon after capturing something truly chilling on camera. He'd seen something strange out of the corner of his eye, and needing to be sure of what he witnessed, he pulled out his phone and started recording. Now, take a look at this. Focus your eyes on the small gap between the pillar and the shelf, just that narrow space, and watch it closely. Right there, a small figure dashes across almost too quickly to catch before vanishing behind the shelf. This man was brought to tears, that brief, shadowy figure that looked exactly like his little daughter, the one he lost not too long ago. Still in disbelief, he watched the footage over and over, comparing it to old photographs. The size, the hair, even the way she ran was too familiar. When he showed it to his workers and others who frequent the shop, they were stunned too. Some admitted they'd already seen a little girl wandering through the store, and always before anyone could get a second look, she was gone. Now the man truly believes his daughter's spirit is still there, running around the shop. This strange creature was captured by the ocean, and more accurately on the shore late at night. A man had gone out for a peaceful nighttime walk by the beach, but what he found was anything but peaceful. Lying there in the sand was this strange black goo, except it wasn't just goo, it was alive. The creature had these tiny tentacle-like edges that seemed to regenerate, and as it moved slowly across the sand, every time part of it touched the ground, it rebuilt itself. This isn't the only footage out there. There have been multiple sightings of this creature, but always by the ocean, always appearing in remote or low-traffic beach areas. No one seems to know exactly what they are. Some believe it could be a deep-sea organism, others think it might be an alien life form that washed up with the tide, but what do you think? Not to be rude, but what do you think is going on here? I've seen a number of strange things in my day on the bus, but never this. Many who saw the clip online felt she might have had a medical condition causing her skin to rot away. Others felt she might not be human at all, perhaps an orc. While my video editor and I tried to determine if this was CGI or not, our Gen Z intern walked in and laughed at us. According to her, these are fake feet sold on Temu. Not sure about that, though. You guys take a good look and let me know what you think. Back in 2024, a US military platform released this footage which was taken somewhere in the Middle East. What you're looking at is a strange object zipping across the sky at incredible speeds. It moved too fast for anything we're familiar with. As always, people were quick to call it a UFO, and honestly it does look like one, but skeptics were just as fast to say it might be fake, or maybe just a spy drone, possibly Chinese or some other form of military tech. But that's becoming the go-to explanation now, isn't it? Advanced drones, secret tech, new surveillance systems. At some point, you gotta wonder if all these sightings are just drones, so are we being softened up for a truth that's harder to swallow? Could this be a UFO? Chernobyl is known for strange and disturbing stories, especially when it comes to animals believed to have mutated due to radiation exposure. Over the years, there have been reports of creatures that were deformed due to radiation exposure, but this footage is on a different level. A clip has been circulating online, and it's unclear if it was filmed in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. The video shows what appears to be a moose, but with no head, just a large body running through a forested area. And there were no signs of an injury, just a smoothness which was supposed to be a neck and head. So what exactly is going on here? Is this a case of natural mutation? And was it caused by radiation exposure from Chernobyl, or is this even from there at all? So this clip resurfaced a while ago, and many who saw it felt it was a meg, and by a meg, I mean a megalodon. I was pretty excited to see it, but after watching the clip over and over and over, it became clear that this was most likely just a white shark. I'm not a marine expert though, so watch the clip again and let me know what you think.
What happened? I found a shark. It's a big shark.
I saw this, and it made my blood run cold. At least for the first few seconds, and then it hit me. I know what this creature is. Somehow, this one looks weird and appears to be having something wrong with it. A team member even asked me if it was transforming. I don't know about the transformation, but can you guess what this creature is? If you can you also tell me what's wrong with it? I can, but consider this your bonus footage of the day. A Chinese surgeon has just made history. Using robotic technology, he remotely performed a prostate surgery on a patient located in Beijing, while the surgeon himself was over 8,000 kilometers away in Rome. Yeah, you heard that right. The operation was done across continents in real time, and it was a complete success, with only a few milliseconds of delay. This isn't science fiction anymore, it's actually happening. With such precision and stability, experts say this kind of remote robotic surgery could soon become mainstream in medical procedures around the world. Would you opt for this if your preferred surgeon was on the other side of the globe? This could mean that surgeons would have no vacations, they could swim in Hawaii and be called to strap in for surgery. A man was out speedboating off the coast of Crab Island in Florida when he spotted this. There were these two long whale-like lines in the ocean, perfectly parallel, stretching far across the water like some kind of hidden path. It looked like a road under the sea. Out of curiosity, he decided to follow the lines, hoping to see where it might lead, but no matter how far he went, there was no end in sight. So what was it? Was it just a trick of the water, light, or waves playing with our eyes? Or was there something actually beneath the ocean like an underwater road? Maybe even man-made. And if so, where does it go and why is it there?
And it looks exactly like a road. Look at that. We're traveling down it now. I'm going to see how far it goes. Mysterious road.
This surveillance camera that was installed to monitor the road captured something quite disturbing. As the cars were passing by, an unusual object was seen flying past. It was entirely black and appeared to have wings, but it was clear that it was not a bird. The creature looked much larger than a bird, and as it flew past, something that resembled human feet could be seen. It's quite difficult to determine what exactly the creature was, but it could be a human-bird hybrid or some kind of mutant. The incident has led to many theories and speculations, but no one knows for sure what we are looking at. Aaron thinks it might be a Garuda, but Julius points out that the whole thing is too unnatural to be a real capture. He suspects it's an elaborate hoax. What do you guys think? The phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, has been a topic of intrigue and speculation for many years. While most reports describe saucer-shaped objects, there are instances where the shapes of UFOs have been particularly unusual. This footage captures one such instant, where an oddly shaped UFO was caught on camera. Interestingly, this type of UFO has been documented in the past, with reports dating as far back as 1561, when it was sighted in Nuremberg. The object is described as being shaped like an upside-down cursor, which is a unique and rather unexpected shape for a UFO. There is even a pamphlet from years ago that is a drawing of the said UFO, adding to the mystery surrounding it. What's your take on this? Do you trust self-driving cars? If your answer was no, then it might interest you to know that there are some using the feature on their Teslas.
There's no way it doesn't see the 4 flashing lights. Yes, it was foggy, but you could still see the lights. And I was like, it's going to stop. It's going to stop.
This clip was recorded by a Tesla owner who had left his car in full self-driving mode, and it shows the moment a Tesla vehicle failed to stop for a moving train ahead of them. The whole thing is crazy because if the man hadn't manually applied the brakes, the vehicle would have run into the train. Yes, it was foggy, but he believes the car should still have picked the train up, yet it didn't. Fortunately, he survived, but it's got us wondering, can we really trust our self-driving cars at this point in time?
There's no way it doesn't see the 4 flashing lights. Yes, it was foggy, but you could still see the lights. And I was like, it's going to stop. It's going to stop.
Stepping away from strange and bizarre-looking animals, let's take a look at strange or gifted humans, as some like to call them. Have you seen anyone's limbs move like that? Freaky, right? And don't pause the video to try it. I have a cousin who I've seen do this and more, and believe me when I tell you it's not all discipline and training. Most often, people who do this are double-jointed. These unfamiliar double-jointed individuals, or those with joint hypermobility, can move their joints into positions that are unusual or extreme compared to the average range of motion. This flexibility is often due to genetic factors affecting the ligaments, tendons, and connective tissues, making them more elastic. While many people with joint hypermobility can perform impressive feats and may experience no adverse effects, some may suffer from joint pain, instability, or conditions like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which involves more significant issues with connective tissue. Although generally benign, hypermobility can sometimes lead to an increased risk of injuries and dislocations. So even though they have a special condition that allows them to do all that, they are still prone to injuries. How much more you with ordinary joints? Don't ever try this. During an expedition in the dense rainforests of Brazil, a curious explorer stumbled upon a set of mysterious bones. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that the bones were of an unusual shape and didn't resemble any known human bones. This naturally created a buzz, even amongst those in the scientific community, with some speculating that they could be the remains of an extraterrestrial creature. A number of them, after examining the bones, thought it had to be fake. Simply put, the authenticity of the footage has been a topic of debate with mixed hypotheses. If proven to be authentic, this discovery could provide some of the strongest evidence yet that aliens exist amongst us. Having seen it with your own eyes, what do you think? Here we have another situation that is considered a glitch in the Matrix. A man came home from work, and as he entered his room, he noticed a tissue paper that was hanging midair in the corner. The tissue paper appears to be suspended midair without any visible means of support. But not just that, it was also frozen in time, which was quite perplexing. He searched the surrounding area for any evidence of strings or wires, but there was none. The tissue paper seemed to be hanging there on its own accord. One of the commentators on the original post was not amused. He believed the room had cobwebs. Julius thinks it's a hoax and Aaron thinks demonic beings are playing tricks on him. What do you think? Our next footage was taken from the dark side of the moon.
Found in the 3-mile-long ancient craft on the back dark side of our moon.
So what is the discussion in detail back in 1976 between you and Commander Rutledge about this extraordinarily beautiful Polynesian-looking preserved female in one of the cockpit chairs?
Neither of us could understand how could she possibly be that well preserved.
And what is it that you're looking at first?
Her skin was all intact, and she was wearing clothing, a dress of some sort, possibly a jumpsuit type of thing. And it seemed to be very much intact, no deterioration at all to speak of.
Researchers who visited the moon years ago discovered a peculiar and extraordinary sight. A spacecraft with a woman strapped into one of the chairs in the cockpit. She's a beautiful woman, unmistakably of African descent, and her body is remarkably well preserved. She has a distinct protrusion on her forehead. According to the reports, she was wearing a jumpsuit and initially had medals connected to her face in a manner that suggested they were linked to her brain, possibly to control the spacecraft. The medals were later removed, but their presence hints at a form of technology far more advanced than we have today, yet it appears ancient. This intriguing discovery has led to many speculations and theories about who she was and the civilization she belonged to. The researchers who found her have referred to her as the Black Mona Lisa of the moon, owing to her enigmatic presence and the mystery surrounding her. I even felt shy to bring this up to Julius, but once I did, he only laughed. The laugh was so sarcastic it hurt my soul. You know what? Let's just move on to the next clip.
Neither of us could understand how could she possibly be that well preserved. Her skin was all intact, and she was wearing clothing, a dress of some sort, possibly a jumpsuit type of thing. And it seemed to be very much intact, no deterioration at all to speak of.
So I see this straw moving around. I'm just sitting here at the school, getting ready for class, and this straw is just moving back and forth, and I'm like, what the hell? There's a fucking ghost in here or what?
I've seen and shared a lot of strange things, but if anyone told me I was going to be showing you guys a clip of a straw moving by itself today, I would have laughed. But then again, here we are. This man was allegedly waiting for his kids at school when he noticed the straw moving around in the cup. He started recording and was wondering if it was a ghost. Personally, I find that funny. But do tell me something. Would you drink this after the straw stops moving around, or would you throw it out so the ghost can go drink it since it likes it so much? Let me know in the comment section. Who knows, I might just send one of you to test your resolve.
Getting ready for class, and this straw is just moving back and forth, and I'm like, what the hell? There's a fucking ghost in here or what?
So clips have been coming from across the globe featuring tiny reflective lights in the atmosphere. The clips have come in from places in the USA, Mexico, and even places like Brazil. Although slightly different, all the clips have one thing in common. These things suddenly appear in the sky for some minutes before they're no longer seen. This has led some to conclude that this is the result of a secret government project. While that sounds interesting, Aaron has a different take. He doubts governments around the world would be working together on a single piece of technology. He thinks that would only happen if the world was ending. Aaron believes that what we are seeing could be an alien mothership in our atmosphere cloaking itself. He thinks that the cloaking technology doesn't always work well, which is why we see those lights. I know it's quite the stretch, but what do you guys think? This video was shared by a man who experienced a truly bizarre encounter right in his own home, and the most chilling part, it was all captured on his security camera. In the video, you can see him walk in and casually hang his jacket on the staircase. Everything seems normal as he heads to the side room, only to come back out moments later with a bottle of water in hand. But then, something utterly inexplicable happens. Out of nowhere, a dark mass appears, hovering in the air around him. The shadowy figure seems to defy the laws of physics as it floats closer, almost as if it's watching him. Suddenly, the man is lifted off his feet, carried by this mysterious force, and pulled back into the very room he just came from. Yeah, you heard that right. The man was actually floating. This strange phenomenon has left many viewers divided. Some are convinced this is a genuine paranormal event, while others believe it's a clever hoax, an eerie trick of video editing. But what do you make of it? A security camera captured a remarkable event during a torrential downpour. At first, a sharp whistle-like sound pierces the air, followed by a sudden blinding flash of lightning that produces a deafening thunder. As the lightning dissipates, a strange, eerie red hue appears on the ground and all the lights in the vicinity go out. It's fascinating to note how the red hue seems to linger on the ground as though something has been left behind. One commenter on the video speculated that the incident was caused by lightning hitting a transformer. It's an interesting theory, but what do you think? As technology continues to advance at a rapid pace, scientists are exploring the possibility of transferring human consciousness to other bodies to achieve immortality. While this might seem like a distant concept, it's much closer than most of us might think. In a podcast featuring Billy Carson, he explains how human consciousness has already been transferred to robots. Listen.
Transferring animals into a computer, which they did a monkey, 2045.com. Look it up. For the monkeys in the computer, his mind is, but the body's dead. Then by 2010 or 2012, they were supposed to have been able to transfer a human consciousness into a robot. They've already done that. And the United States as well. DARPA has a project called the Avatar Project. In an Avatar Project, they have a symbiotic link from a soldier underneath a mountain somewhere, like in a bunker, connected to a field robot. And it controls it through a mind connection. If the robot is destroyed, of course, the soldier doesn't die. And the only thing that stopped us from transferring consciousness from one brain to another was data storage.
Did you hear that? Soldiers can now remotely control robots that they are symbiotically linked to, even if they're far away. This is similar to the concept seen in the popular movie Avatar, where humans control genetically engineered alien bodies. This symbiotic relationship between soldiers and robots has massive implications for warfare and raises ethical concerns. How do you think the masses reacted? Well, take a look. This development is particularly significant because it indicates that we are rapidly approaching a time when humans will be able to transfer their consciousness to other bodies. While there are many good applications for this, we just can't ignore what the negative ones could be. What do you also think about this? A man was out for an evening walk when he spotted something unusual in the sky. He noticed a formation of strange orbs arranged in a triangular shape. The orbs hovered silently for a few moments, creating an eerie and mesmerizing sight. Then, just as mysteriously as they appeared, the orbs vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. What could these orbs have been? Were they drones, an aircraft formation, or something more otherworldly? Such sightings often spark debates, with some people attributing them to secret military operations, while others believe they might be evidence of extraterrestrial activity. What do you think these mysterious orbs were? Here we have another strange artifact that was found in Egypt. It's a turquoise-colored object shaped like a car but with 4 legs instead of tires and a head on top. Oddly enough, the head looks like Homer Simpson, which is really strange. It's making people wonder, what could this be? Is it possible that ancient civilizations had advanced technology we don't know about? Could this be evidence that they have some form of vehicle back then? Or maybe it's just an artistic representation of something we don't fully understand. Could it be a coincidence? Or is there more to this?
Barto Küçüktepe köyünde akşam saat 5:30 sıralarında ben hayvanları otlatırken havadan aniden bir cismin ortaya çıktığını ben
In the skies of the Vardo district of Mus, this was captured. The clip shows a dark object with a human-like body. You can see the shoulders, arms, and legs, but the head is not visible. What could this be? One commenter said it was a drone with clothes on. I guess that could make sense. Another commenter said that this was a flying Bigfoot. I mean, look closely. This thing has thick arms and legs. A sassy commenter also said this. Oh, look, another video of a balloon-like object moving in a balloon-like way. Another also called it a balloon as well. It's almost like these guys knew what I was going to say and said it, but seriously, what do you guys think this is? Have you ever looked at a child and thought to yourself that they're not as clueless as we make them out to be? Well, if you haven't, this next clip might just change your mind.
The tree. Honey, there's nobody in the tree. Up there. You can see somebody? Yeah. Are you sure? I don't see anybody, honey. I see a girl. You see a girl? Yeah. Oh, is she okay? Yeah. What's she doing? Tell me. It's Dad.
As you can already tell from the clip, this woman parked her car by a tree with a child in the back seat. The child kept pointing to the tree and claimed to see a girl on the tree who had died.
Dad. Honey, I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree. Dad, look, see? I see it. It's dead. What? The tree is dead? No, a girl's dead. Why do you think there's a girl dead?
Despite the woman's best efforts to find this girl or any sign of a presence, there was nothing or no one around on the tree. Naturally, this upset her a little, which is why she recorded and uploaded online to search for answers. Naturally, the discussions and arguments were all over the place with this clip. Some people called it a gift, while others stated that this kind of thing was natural with kids. Someone even shared a story featuring her son. Kids see ghosts. My son, when he was 2, asked me, "Who's that guy?" and pointed in our hallway. My husband was out of town at the time. I asked him if the guy was scary, and he said no, but I do believe he was seeing something. Another also shared her own experiences as a child. When I was 6, I saw an old man with a hat standing on the porch looking through the sliding glass door. At night, I screamed and my parents ran into the bedroom to find out why the man disappeared. Later, they received a call that Grandpa passed. As interesting as these sound, not everyone believes in these encounters. One comment suggested that it was just a figment of the child's wild imagination. While it's true that children have an active imagination and are prone to make up stories, these encounters are all too evident to ignore. After all, there's no smoke without fire. But what do you think? Did this child see something, or was it just a figment of their imagination?
Dad. Honey, how did... I don't think there's a dead girl in the tree, baby. There's nothing in the tree. Dad, look, see? I see it.
This footage was captured by a man during a walk through the field in the woods on a hot afternoon. In the video, you can see a patch of brown fur against the green plants, partially hidden by the foliage. The person who shared the footage claims that this is a baby Bigfoot resting on the grass, blending into its surroundings. However, not everyone is convinced. Julius argues that what we are seeing is not a cryptid but a baby bear. He points out that the fur and size seem more consistent with a young bear, which is known to roam these areas. The footage remains ambiguous, with viewers divided on whether this is evidence of a young Bigfoot or just a regular bear cub. What do you think? What does this look like to you? A dinosaur, right? Well, these creatures are meant to be extinct, yet here we are watching an alleged clip of one of them out in the wild. The individual who uploaded the clip didn't give out any more information because he didn't want to be found. This has got many thinking that this might be genuine footage. Others also think it's just someone playing a prank on the community. Now, given the limited information, it's hard to say with certainty which of these it is. The quality of the clip is also so low that it prevents us from doing any thorough analysis. So let's go with our guts on this one. What does it say to you? Still on aliens, someone uploaded this clip on one of our paranormal platforms, claiming it might be an alien creature. Looking at it, it looks the part, but is it legit though? I'll let you decide that. So I was there when Aaron told me he had got a clip that was going to blow my mind. It was a river on fire. Now take a look. Now that does look like a river on fire, right? Something like a scene from hell. Well, more like this shows that hell is possible. But what explanation is there for this? I did some research and it turns out not everything you see on the internet that you don't understand is AI. It turns out this is possible due to a phenomenon where methane gas produced by the decomposition of organic material in riverbeds or wetlands escapes and ignites, causing flames to appear on the water's surface. This can happen naturally or due to human activities like drilling, which can release trapped methane. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas, and its release contributes to climate change. When it escapes from water bodies, it can create visually striking, without often hazardous, river fire events. These incidents highlight the complex interactions between natural ecosystems and the impact of human activities on environmental processes. This was allegedly recorded in Kazakhstan. What we're looking at here is definitely unsettling. A shirtless person with a face that looks almost inhuman. The face is contorted with no visible nose, just two holes where the eyes should be, and a mouth that appears deformed. It gives off a very eerie, unnatural vibe. Julia suggests that this could be a mask, which makes sense considering how distorted and otherworldly the features are. Aaron insists it's an otherworldly being. What do you think? Have you wondered what celestial beings might look like? Well, if this next clip is to be believed, then this is your chance to not just wonder, but see. The footage starts off with a few individuals pointing at the sky. A few seconds into the clip, we realize why they're pointing. There's a golden glow in the sky. A closer look, and you realize there's what looks like a temple in the glow. How is that possible, you ask? The simple answer, well, it shouldn't be. Naturally, once this was posted online, it was going to lead to a debate. The religious among the paranormal community insist that this has to be a sign from a deity. Other members of the community disagree and state that this is definitely a doctored clip. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think? We've spoken about portals and what have you on this channel and even shown you a few clips, but would you want to see one in action? That looks like an alien ship going through a portal, which then shuts as soon as the ship goes through. I would have loved a bit more context and information with this clip, like where it was taken and when, but I guess if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Julius isn't convinced about this, and Aaron hopes to get to the bottom of this. You've seen the clip. What do you think we're dealing with here? If you watched our last episode, you would have remembered we showed you clips of individuals wearing silicone faces that look very lifelike. Well, this next clip may just blow your mind. Take a look. Did you see that? No? Well, look at his ears. See it now? It looks like there's a silicone mask over the face of whoever is conducting the interview. I mean, I know as we get older we develop wrinkles et al., but this does not look like that. Instead, it looks like we're looking at a live use of one of those silicone masks we saw in our last episode. Am I overthinking things, or do you guys see it too? Let me know in the comments section. This video, recorded in December 2023, captures a moment that is as unsettling as it is mysterious. During a heavy downpour with rain pounding against the windows and thunder roaring in the distance, a power outage left the entire neighborhood in darkness, but what one resident caught on camera outside their home during this blackout is enough to send chills down your spine. Amidst the flashes of lightning, a strange red laser-like beam suddenly appeared, cutting through the stormy sky. The beam descended from the clouds, touching down on the earth, and then, incredibly, it began to move, gliding across the landscape with an eerie precision. It was as if something or someone was scanning the ground below. Some viewers are convinced that this is evidence of alien activity, a glimpse into something otherworldly taking place right before our eyes. Others believe it could be part of a secret government operation, an advanced technology that most of us aren't supposed to know about. So what do you think? Scientists have been pushing the boundaries of fighter and military jets over the past few decades. Doesn't matter which continent or country you go to, there's always some sort of research ongoing. Everyone's trying to have the upper hand in the air, and this new technology promises to be it. It's rumored that scientists have actually built a plane that's capable of changing its shape whilst in flight. As though that's not crazy enough, there's also the stealth abilities that have to do with its ability to change color mid-flight. Beyond that, the planes are designed to fly in groups and be capable of flying autonomously while communicating with each other. Yes, I know that sounds like a thing of fiction, but if our information sources are right, this is already in the works. I'm not sure whether to be excited or worried. What do you guys think? Speaking of strange humanoid creatures, a subscriber sent this next one in. While the original post stated this was a mythic humanoid, that is, a mythological creature that's only part human, the subscriber believes it's simply human and nothing else. I've reviewed the clip several times, and I must say that while it does have a strange appearance, it might simply be a human and nothing else. The clip may have been edited, or he or she may be wearing a costume. That might account for the strange look. Beyond that, I don't see anything paranormal happening unless, of course, I'm under the power of this mythic human and it's making me say that to hide its identity. What do you think? Not everyone believes in paranormal events or entities. I'm pretty sure a number of you watching this video might also share the same sentiments. But how do we explain this? This incident took place around 3 a.m. when a motorcyclist was on his way home. A person suddenly appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the highway he was on. Naturally, this startled him, but just before he could properly react, the individual just disappeared. Fortunately, the rider managed to keep his composure and didn't panic. That could have resulted in a tragedy. While it's true that tech can be used to create convincing fakes, many doubted this was fake. They believed it was the real deal. Take a look at some of the comments. Several viewers claimed that this incident took place in the Philippines. Some even stated that they had seen it on television. Some went as far as analyzing the clip and stating that there were two, not one, individuals in the clip. But what do you see, and do you believe that this is indeed a ghost encounter or just a hoax? This next video was taken in Hawaii, where a passerby on the streets happened to capture something unusual in the sky. It was an odd blue light, and the way it moved made it look like it was coming from some sort of craft. The light wasn't just a simple flash or a streak, it seemed to hover and shift, almost as if it were under intelligent control. The sighting left many people puzzled. Was it some advanced aircraft, a UFO, or just a strange atmospheric phenomenon? Hawaii, with its vast skies and remote location, have been known for such mysterious sightings, but this one stands out due to the eerie, almost otherworldly blue glow. What do you think this blue light could be? This is very clear footage of a flying saucer in the sky, and it does look incredibly real at first glance. However, with the advancements in AI technology, it's becoming harder to tell what's real and what's computer-generated. Given how lifelike some AI-generated content can be, it's possible this could be an example of that. The details, the lighting, and the movement all seem perfect, almost too perfect, which often hints at digital manipulation. It's fascinating, but also a bit unsettling to think how easily our eyes can be tricked these days. What do you think? Could this be another instance of AI at work, or the real deal? Now, what do we have here? before you scream alien or cryptid, you should know that this is someone's arm with body modification. It's insane or cool, depending on what you're into. The strange bumps running along the arm almost resemble the vertebrae of a spine, don't they? And that massive X marking on the back of the palm? People do go crazy about these things. Are you one of them, and would you try this? Let us know in the comments section. Speaking of strange things, take a look at this clip. What do you see? Hard to tell, right? A subscriber sent this in, and we've been trying to decipher it since we received it. Some members of the team think it's a spider, but can spiders move their eyes like that? Others think we might be dealing with something alien. Based on the lack of availability of evidence and its lack thereof, I'm tempted to side with this assertion. The individual who sent it in doesn't know what it is either and refused to tell us where the clip came from. Let's treat this as a bonus clip. Who can find out what this is as well as where it came from? If you can and we can authenticate it, then you get the opportunity to be featured in our next clip. What do you guys say? Start your answer with the word bonus so we can find it easily. Take a look at this fascinating artifact recovered in Egypt. It's a carving of a person that appears to be etched into stone. But here's where it gets really intriguing. As you turn the carving, the figure seems to change its position, creating a multi-dimensional effect. It looks like the carving exists in multiple dimensions, which gives it a very trippy and almost surreal appearance. Many believe that ancient Egypt has access to some kind of advanced technology, enabling them to create artifacts that continue to baffle us today. Could this be an example of such technology? What do you think? Moving on from the dry and dusty scenery, we visit one that's purely aquatic, that is made up of water. In the clip, we see a young man climbing into the boat after perhaps swimming or fishing in the water. Not sure why they were filming though, but judging by his body language, this isn't the first time he's done something like this. As we keep watching though, we notice something rather unusual behind him. It looks like a hand, and we're not sure who or what it belongs to. From what we can tell, however, they couldn't and shouldn't qualify as human hands. They appear to be webbed, which means it belongs to something that lives in the water. Seeing this, some in the paranormal community wanted to believe this belonged to either a mermaid or a siren. Given we can only see half of an arm, however, there's not much to go on. Some also think this has got to be fake, and it looks like the boys may have just recorded this for their 5 minutes of fame. While that's not impossible, there's also the possibility that this might be genuine footage. What do you think? Pay attention to the clip. How many horses do you see? 2, right? Well, let's watch for a few more seconds. Boom! There's a third horse. I'm sure you didn't see that coming, did you? Now, when the clip starts playing, we see the first 2 horses approach the one filming. We can see the background, and there aren't any horses. Yet, for some odd reason, once they get to the one filming, there's a third white directly behind the black. How? Well, Aaron believes it's a glitch. Julius thinks it's either a matter of perspective or the third horse was edited in. What do I personally think? Well, I'm thinking what you're thinking, so what are you thinking? Let us know in the comments section. A cat owner recently bought cat food and noticed something extraordinary. The cat on the package was the exact replica of his own cat. The same fur color and pattern, the same eye color, every detail matched perfectly. Now, I wouldn't call this a Matrix glitch, but it's definitely shocking and trippy. Think about it. Out of all the cats in the world, what are the odds that your cat is the exact copy of the one on the food package? Well, it's not impossible. It's still fascinating to see. This coincidence can make you feel like you're in a surreal, almost magical moment. It's a reminder of how many uncanny connections exist in the world, even in the most mundane things like buying cat food.
شنو فيه؟ يما هو ايش قاعد يصير؟
A woman shared this video she took while hiking near a waterfall. In the video, from a distance, you can see another woman in a pink dress. She seems to be swaying in different poses. It's unclear whether she's dancing or performing some sort of ritual. She continues this for a while, and then, at the end, she moves to the edge of the rock and falls forward into the large flowing waterfall. There's no information about whether she was okay, under the influence of something, or even what exactly was happening. We don't even know how far the fall was, whether it was a short drop or a long, dangerous drop. What do you think could have been going on here? Have you ever wondered how animals communicate verbally, especially bees, with all the buzzing? Well, one curious man decided to experiment with this idea. He took 2 plastic cups, coiled the insides with wire, and joined the bottoms together, creating a sort of makeshift communication device. With this setup, he found a bee minding its own business on the ground. He carefully covered the bee with one end of the cup. Now, instead of hearing the typical buzzing sound you'd expect, what emerged from the other end of the cup was something quite strange, a tiny, almost human-like voice mumbling. It was hard to make out the words, but the sound was eerily similar to human speech, just in a much smaller and distinct form. How is this possible? Could it be the bees have a way of communicating that we haven't fully understood, or was this some kind of auditory illusion created by the makeshift device? I must add that most of the reactions from this clip were laughter, but what if? Just what if? While taking a walk by a pond, an observer noticed a peculiar creature. Its head and mouth were sticking out of the water with a pair of eyes that occasionally blinked. Now take a look at the rest of its body. It resembles a turtle, but the head looks more like a crocodile. It's like a hybrid of both animals. There are other fish swimming behind it, which is unusual because if this was a wild predator, you wouldn't expect other fish to be so close. Yet it just remains still with only part of its head above water. I know I was just giving you a quiz, but what do you think this could be? I know there are some of us here who laugh at the idea of aliens, but what would you do if you suddenly looked out of your plane window one day and saw this? Yeah, this was allegedly filmed by a passenger on a plane mid-flight. The individual was apparently enjoying the scene when he or she noticed something otherworldly in the sky. The individual tried squinting to make out what the strange object was. It turns out he didn't have to do so for long, since it didn't take too long for the object to move in the direction of the plane. At first, I thought it was a saucer. Then I started to think I was looking at a living creature with tentacles or something similar. What do you see? Also, do you think this could be a sign that they are already here and just waiting for the right time to invade?
Never seen this a day in my life. It's still alive.
Someone bought a pack of leafy greens from the grocery store, and guess what? It came with a live frog inside. How on earth did that happen? There have been plenty of bizarre cases involving our food, but finding live animals in it, oh, that's just a new level of weirdness. You have to wonder, is this some kind of prank, or did this little guy just hitch a ride from the farm? Either way, it's unsettling. If things like this keep happening, we might need to start growing our food just to be safe. Imagine opening a bag of salad and getting a surprise like that. This really makes you question the quality control process. How did the frog make it through all the stages of packaging without anyone noticing? For what it's worth, this might be an indicator that it's natural and organic. Do you believe our world is an illusion? Well, the man speaking in our next clip believes so. Listen.
We live largely in a world of illusions. And in a sense, as we have a physical existence now, all the elements that make it up, all the habits that we have, all the institutions we maintain, the entertainment we choose, the ideas of education we keep, all of these are part of what might be called the obscuration of ignorance, and they are part of the negative individual magnetic field.
He talks about how we live in a negative individual magnetic field that causes us to react to negative factors which eventually become the death of us. Basically, the things around us and the systems we've adopted are nothing more than illusions that are leading to our impending doom. Do you share his sentiments?
This magnetic field, being negative, perpetuates itself from within itself. And little by little, the individual who has gradually become more and more vicious finds that the viciousness increases, until finally he reaches a point where he must change or lose the values of the incarnations through which he has passed.
How do you feel about gray aliens? I know they freak people out and give them the heebie-jeebies. Take a look at this clip. This was recorded by an anonymous individual on his property. He saw something move on his roof, took out his phone to record, and that's when it became apparent that he was not dealing with an ordinary creature. Looking at the body shape, eyes, and maybe movement, it's giving vibes of an alien adventurer or scout. Not sure why aliens would be on his property or how he navigated the whole thing, but it would have been an interesting experience. Like I said, I know people don't like gray aliens, but personally I find them intriguing. If you watched our previous video where we discussed the possibility of them being humans from the future, you would find them interesting too. Anyway, do you think this is real or does it look doctored to you? Let us know in the comments section below. A man was out in the woods after a snowstorm when he started to hear this strange sound. Listen closely. Yes, that loud grunt-like howl echoing through the forest. Residents in the area believe that this is the call of Bigfoot. The legend of Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, has been a part of North American folklore for decades. Descriptions often depict a large, hairy, ape-like creature that inhabits remote forests, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. Sightings are frequently accompanied by reports of mysterious sounds, such as the one captured in this footage. Skeptics argue that these sounds could be attributed to various known animals like wolves, coyotes, or even owls. However, the unique quality of this particular howl sets it apart. It's deeper and more guttural, resonating with a primal intensity that seems different from typical wildlife calls. Local residents who lived in the area for years often share stories of unexplained sightings and sounds, adding to the mystique. Some recount seeing large, shadowy figures moving through the trees, while others speak of finding enormous footprints in the snow, far larger than any human or known animal could make. What are your thoughts?
Walked as it walked. It literally sounded.
Stacy.
What the?
A man ventured into the woods for a ghost hunting expedition, setting up a tent with a few paranormal investigation tools, a Ouija board, and a spirit radio to communicate with spirits. Once settled, he decided to unzip the tent and look outside when he suddenly heard a deep, unsettling growl nearby. Almost simultaneously, the name Stacy came through on the radio, adding an eerie twist to his experience. He asked through the radio if there was anyone outside. In response, he received a series of strange words, and at one point the radio seemed to clearly say, "Please leave." It's not clear if he attempted to use the Ouija board, which some say shouldn't be used alone due to the potential risks of communicating with the unknown. As the unsettling sounds continue outside, the man decides it was best to pack up and leave. On his way out, he heard more noises, adding to the fear that something or someone was watching him. In his footage, he seemed genuinely frightened, and it was clear he was relieved to be leaving the eerie woods.
Is there somebody outside? Yeah? Please leave.
Yeah, that's definitely not normal. This was captured by a man exploring an abandoned house. Whatever it is, it's noticed the man and it's not a fan. It hides, or at least tries to hide from him. Initially, the man wasn't sure what he was dealing with, but once the clip made its way online, many who saw it believed it was a fire demon. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? A man decided to explore an abandoned asylum. Now, asylums don't exactly have the best reputations, and you can probably guess that his experience was not exactly pleasant. This particular asylum was in Chile, and it's said to be extremely haunted. Many people have reported seeing ghosts wandering the halls, but despite knowing this, the man went one night with his dog. When they arrived, his dog wandered through the building and found a toy car. Strangely, the dog backed away from the car, growling. The man ignored the dog's reaction and left the car on the ground as he continued exploring. Not long after, he started hearing a strange voice that sounded like a woman's echoing through the hallway. Then he heard the toy car's wheels rolling in another room. He kept walking until he came across another building across from the one he was in. Through the window, he saw something terrifying. It was a figure with a pale face and black hair staring directly at him. Its appearance was distorted, and the man managed to snap a few pictures of it. As he looked at the figure, he heard strange voices again. At that point, he'd had enough and left the asylum immediately. Some in the paranormal community believed the spirit was luring him in. Just as well, he left before she was able to. Take a look at the pictures he captured. What do you think that figure is?
Tell me that does not look like a freaking face. Holy
A resident in Los Angeles shared this bizarre footage of something strange in the night sky. It shows two glowing orbs hovering in the air with a beam of light extending down toward the ground. Now, this is odd. It doesn't look like street lights or any normal reflection. And with how bright these things are, it's hard to dismiss it as just a trick of the light. We all know LA and the US has been experiencing a surge in UFO sightings lately. Could this be one of them? Or is there some other explanation for what we are seeing?
Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, these UPS trucks are feel like ghosts, man. You can't trust these things. You gotta be careful, because every time I'm at this place, I freaking hear a bunch of weird, crazy noises. Freaking stuff be opening by itself. And stuff be opening by itself. So yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, brother? This will be crazy.
Most of the time, we think of haunted places as old houses, abandoned hospitals, or eerie locations. But it turns out it's not just buildings that can be haunted. Vehicles can be too. Take this UPS truck driver, for instance. He believes that his truck is haunted and even filmed some evidence. Take a look. In the video, he's parked at a station late one night with rows of trucks lined up, all locked up for the night. He's talking about how he thinks the place is haunted when suddenly one of the truck doors slides open by itself. You can see it clearly through his rearview mirror. And that's not all. Moments later, you hear more clicks and doors sliding open as well. Is he onto something? Could these trucks really be haunted?
And stuff be opening by itself. So yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, brother? This will be crazy.
Estamos aquí rumbo a Ixtlán, pero no sabemos qué.
Have you ever seen the sky do this? No? Well, if you were in Mexico recently, you would have seen something like this. But perhaps, if you had, you would have been as confused as the individual who recorded this and wanted answers. It's not every day you see the sky behave like this. When it does, you've got to know what's responsible. When some members of the paranormal community saw this, they were quick to describe it as alien, perhaps a signal to others or coming from a mothership. As intriguing as that sounds, however, there is no evidence to support it, so it was not accepted. You've seen the clip. What do you think?
Estamos aquí rumbo a Ixtlán, pero no sabemos qué.
Since Trump came back to office, the United States has been heading in a whole new direction, but someone made a very keen observation. Take a look at this video.
Has anybody else noticed that in this recent speech, the coat of arms behind Trump, where usually the head of the eagle is facing towards the olive branch, whilst having these arrows, which means that it's capable of peace and war, but it's going to look more towards peace. The eagle in this coat of arms is looking towards the arrows.
That's very interesting and alarming at the same time. The bald eagle on the coat of arms is supposed to face the olive branch in its hand, symbolizing peace. But in this instance, during Trump's speech, the eagle was facing the arrows in its hand, which symbolizes war. With world leaders and the secrecy surrounding many of their actions, one thing they've often used is symbolism. They hide the truth in plain sight. Could this subtle display be an Easter egg hinting at something bigger, or do you think it was just a mistake? One of the most popular products in the beauty industry is perfume. Everybody wants to smell nice, but did you know that it actually might be harmful to us? Yeah, the fragrances we love often contain harmful chemicals like benzene, phthalates, acetaldehyde, and many others. These substances are not just toxic, they're linked to serious health issues, including cancer, weakened immune systems, infertility, and chronic diseases. But perfume companies often get away with it. Regulations allow them to avoid listing these harmful chemicals on their labels. Instead, they can simply group everything under the vague term fragrance or perfume. This lack of transparency makes it nearly impossible for consumers to know what they're really exposing themselves to. So, while smelling great might feel like a priority, it's worth considering the hidden costs of that lovely scent. Also, bear in mind that you're not hurting just you, but everyone else that comes significantly close to you and smells it. Think about that. A couple decided to explore their attic one night, since buying the place that never ventured up there. But out of the blue, they decided to check it out. They took flashlights and a camera and began scanning the dusty cornice. It was pretty dark and eerie up there. Then suddenly their flashlight beam hit something in the far corner of the attic. It was a tall, pale figure. It popped its head out from behind a wall, staring at them for a brief, chilling moment before slipping back into the shadows. They barely caught a glimpse of it, but knew they had seen something. Without a second thought, they bolted down the attic stairs and didn't look back. What could that creature have possibly been? The ocean truly is one of Earth's last frontiers, full of mysteries and vast unexplored depths. Take a look at this footage as an example of the awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying discoveries being made. A paddleboarder was out on the water when he noticed a huge creature moving beneath the surface, its massive shape cutting through the water from a distance. The creature seemed to be heading toward him, creating a powerful current. As it got closer, a wave of water surged up, washing over the boarder, and then, just like that, the footage cuts out. Thankfully, the person made it back safely since we're able to watch the clip, but it really makes you wonder what kind of creature could be lurking under those waves, moving with such power. Back in 2021, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia announced a groundbreaking development initiative called The Line. It's a futuristic city plan to be built in the desert, and announcements sent shockwaves around the world. Many people were skeptical about the project, but it seems Saudi Arabia is determined to make it happen. Take a look at this recent drone footage of the project. Construction has already begun with massive infrastructure excavation cutting through the mountainous terrain. What do you think about this ambitious project? Is it a good idea, or is it too futuristic to be practical? Have you ever wondered what the world would look like when AI is at its peak? Well, take a look at this and tell me why it feels like a very accurate demonstration of it. Robot dogs walking in the streets, flying cars zipping through the air, drones buzzing everywhere, and humanoid robots strolling on the sidewalks. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it feels eerily possible. This vision of the future is both fascinating and a little unsettling. What year do you think this could become a reality? 2050, 2100, or sooner than we expect? Here's an intriguing piece of footage from China. A man captured what appears to be a rectangular-shaped object hovering in the sky. The object is glowing and completely stationary. Now, there's some debate. Some people believe this could be the result of a blue beam projection, which can create optical illusions in the sky. Others think it could be something more, perhaps an advanced aircraft or even something otherworldly. What do you think? This image was taken in Canada. A man had captured this unusual object hovering in the night sky with distinct lights glowing underneath it. The lights are bright enough to illuminate parts of the object, giving it an otherworldly presence against the dark backdrop. Unlike the classic circular or disc-shaped UFOs often seen in popular culture, this object has a unique shape that defies easy categorization. Its unusual form and the strategic placement of lights under it make it stand out, leading to speculation about what it could be. Given the increased frequency of reports of oddly shaped aerial crafts, it's no wonder that many are quick to label this sighting as a potential UFO. The unusual structure and luminous appearance have led many to believe that this could be a high-tech craft, perhaps not of earthly origin. On the other hand, skeptics suggest this could be the result of a new advanced military technology or a drone with an unconventional design. What do you think? Scientists just don't know when to stop, and as if the world potentially being taken over by robots and AI isn't enough, they've now managed to create a mini human brain. This brain was made from stem cells and mouse embryos. It's said to have the capacity of a premature baby and has already done some incredible things. For example, it was connected to a video game, and just within 5 minutes the brain learned how to play it. In another experiment, they attached the brain to a butterfly and it quickly learned how to fly, adapting almost instantly to living as a butterfly. This is a groundbreaking achievement, but how far should we go with this kind of research? Moving on, a woman was at home when she noticed an orb floating around her room. Naturally, she did what everything in 2025 would do, grab her phone to record it instead of running away. While filming, however, something far more unsettling in the background caught her attention. It was a huge face. You could clearly see its eyes, and as you watched closely, the eyes blinked sideways. The face seemed to be peeking out from behind the doorframe, almost as if it was watching her. Now, I don't know about what the homeowner did after this happened, but it's definitely the kind of thing that would leave anyone shaken. We often associate orbs with aliens or paranormal activity, so is that what this was? Was there an alien lurking in the corner of the room, or is there another explanation for what's going on here? I know some of you are waiting for Julius's take, and, well, the honest truth is, he said nothing. After he watched the clip and I read out my script to him, he just shook his head and walked out as though I'd wasted his time. I won't think much of it, but that's it. He said nothing. A resident in Andøya, Norway, shared this eerie footage that's baffling viewers everywhere. 4 bright green orbs were seen drifting upward into the sky, each leaving behind a trail of smaller orbs following in a curious weaving formation. The movement wasn't chaotic or rapid like fireworks, nor did it have the typical patterns you'd expect from drones or aircraft. Instead, these glowing orbs seemed almost deliberate in their ascent, moving gracefully in sync with one another. So what could they be? Northern lights are a common sight in Norway, but these lights had an unusual structure and were far more defined. Some suggest they might be flares from a military exercise, while others are leaning toward the unexplained, possibly some kind of advanced technology or a genuine unidentified aerial phenomenon. What do you think it is? Next, we've got this chilling Ring camera footage from a homeowner who was left terrified after reviewing what their camera had captured. There, right by the entrance, stood a ghostly figure shaped like a skeleton, just hovering in the dim light. The eerie silhouette lingered on the side of the entrance for a while, almost as if it were watching or waiting. Then, without warning, it flipped and vanished into thin air. Imagine the shock of discovering something like this right outside your door. Was it a trick of the light, a glitch, or something otherworldly? So we start today's episode with a video from a couple whose ride home was interrupted by something unnerving. Like most of you watching this clip, they wanted to get home early and took a shortcut through the rather remote area. What they didn't count on was this appearing in their car window. It looks like a face, a person's face. Unlike the normal face of an individual, this particular one had skin that looked like it was painted with black paint and eyes that appear more reddish than normal. As if that was not strange enough, whoever or whatever this person was just stared through the glass window into the car, not moving or blinking. Naturally, the couple were so scared that they froze and sat in the car as the eerie figure kept staring. Luckily, the door was closed and it remained so. One thing I kept thinking while watching this clip was, why didn't they just drive off? I mean, they're the ones in the car, unless whatever the thing was had some power that made them lose their will to run. I couldn't even bring this before Julius, as he would have called it fake, and for the first time in a long time, I would have a defense. Anyway, what do you guys think is going on here? We've all heard the conspiracy theories claiming that the government controls the weather. Well, it turns out this might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. In fact, it's no longer just a wild speculation, a patent that suggests it could be true. The patent goes into detail about certain chemicals that can be released into the atmosphere to manipulate weather patterns. Remember chemtrails, those mysterious lines in the sky that some people say are evidence of weather manipulation? There might be some truth to those theories after all. While some dismiss these claims as paranoia, the existence of such patents raises serious questions. Why would the government need to control the weather? Is it for agricultural purposes, military strategy, or something else entirely? In this next footage, we have a clip captured by a home security camera. The camera caught a strange figure walking up the stairs inside the house. It appears to be a glowing humanoid figure that just appears in the middle of the staircase. Then, without hesitation, it proceeds to climb up to the next floor out of the camera's view. Could this be a spirit making its way through the house, or is there another explanation? What do you think? If you've always thought glitches weren't real, this might change your mind. Take a look. The clip starts off with this motorbike rider riding onto the scene. He stops in front of a house, rushes in, and is chased out. He tries to get on his bike but is pushed by a woman coming from the house into a car that's driving on the main road. Usually people get crushed that way, but he's lucky to somehow end up on the hood of the car. Is that the glitch, you ask? Well, no. If you pay attention to the clip, you notice something falling from the sky to the area right before the woman. It's a bike seat. Also, the moment she pushed him onto the road, someone fell from the sky looking just like the rider. How is this possible? A glitch, maybe? A group of urban explorers ventured into one of Chicago's sewers and stumbled upon something truly astonishing. Deep beneath the city, they discovered a mysterious spiral staircase leading to an expansive cave-like underground system. The air was heavy with dust and particles, and stagnant water pooled in places, giving the eerie impression that some kind of construction or excavation had been underway. But what exactly was being built or hidden down there? Before jumping to conclusions, it's worth noting that Chicago's underground tunnels have a fascinating history. In the 1850s, the city faced severe drainage issues due to its swampy terrain. To solve the problem, engineers made the bold decision to literally lift the entire city, building a network of tunnels and sewers to redirect the water. This ambitious project is why these subterranean passages exist today. However, decades or even centuries later, these forgotten tunnels are far from safe. The stagnant water, crumbling structures, and thick polluted air make them hazardous to explore. And who knows what else might lurk in the shadows. Over time, these underground spaces could have become home to all sorts of creatures, natural or otherwise. Venturing into these depths is not just risky, it's a journey into the unknown. A Stanford student recently developed something groundbreaking. It's the world's smallest augmented reality computer, all packed with a single monocle. Yeah, a monocle. You wear it and it interacts with you in real time. It can code, answer questions, translate languages, run apps, and respond to prompts. This is all seamlessly integrated into this tiny device. This innovation is incredibly exciting. Imagine having a powerful assistant right in front of your eye, ready to help with tasks, translate on the go, or even write code. Why didn't they have this when I was still a student? Not that I would have cheated. I mean, I don't condone cheating. Let's move on. A man and his friend were driving late at night when his friend, who was in the passenger seat, decided to start filming the drive. As he pointed the camera toward the road ahead, something strange happened. On the side of the road, just in front of the dark woods, a human-like figure appeared briefly only to vanish within seconds, almost as if it melted into thin air. Both friends were taken aback, wondering if what they saw was a ghostly apparition. Some viewers of the footage think it might indeed be a spirit, while others suggest it could have been a trick of the light or a person who somehow slipped quickly out of sight. What do you think? Was this an encounter with the paranormal, or is there another explanation? A man was at an old mining site late one night when he came across something truly eerie. At first, he thought he was just seeing shadows, but as he turned on his flashlight and started recording, it became clear that there was something far stranger going on. There were ghostly figures scattered across the site, appearing as men at work, almost as if trapped in time. These apparitions moved like miners, and you can even hear the faint sounds of tools echoing in the dark. It's haunting to witness these figures toiling away as if forever bound to their work. Some say that certain spirits don't move on after death, but are stuck in a loop, repeating the tasks they performed in life. This footage might just be a chilling glimpse into that endless cycle. What you're looking at may or may not be CGI. Someone filmed this strange craft hovering over Trump Tower, and so far, no one's able to prove it's fake. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% real, but let's think about planes like the B-2 stealth bomber that exist, so other high-tech aircraft may be out there, hidden from the public. There are tons of conspiracies about secret military technology, things we aren't supposed to know. Could this be one of them? Or is it something else entirely? On second thought, if it were meant to be a secret project, they wouldn't be using it so public now, would they? We've heard all about the famous conspiracy theories about celebrities and high-ranking government officials using body doubles dressed in hyper-realistic silicone masks to carry out their public duties while they remain hidden. I mean, how else would you explain many instances where someone looks off with their facial expressions, looking unnatural or outright just not quite human? Before you dismiss that as impossible, pay attention to these clips. Just in case you were wondering, yes, those are silicone masks and the technology is incredibly advanced. It would certainly be hard to spot the fakes at first glance. When you look closely, however, the not-so-impressive flaws start to show, especially around the neck area. You can sometimes see the material fold or crease in ways that give it away. Of course, you'd only notice this if you knew exactly what you were looking for. If this is really happening, imagine the number of famous people who might be seriously ill or even dead while their doubles continue to show up for events, interviews, and public appearances. It's a wild thought, but in a world full of secrets, who knows what's really going on? Antarctica has been the center of many conspiracy theories, ranging from it being the hollow Earth's center to aliens living there and more. However, no concrete evidence has ever been provided to support or debunk these claims. Recently, this image surfaced, allegedly from Antarctica, showcasing a hidden ancient city concealed beneath the icy walls. The settlement's impressive architecture has grabbed the attention of many, but the question remains, is this true? After conducting some research, we discovered that the image was just a painting and not a real photograph. Sharks are often portrayed as fearsome predators, but their behavior can be more complex and less aggressive than many assume. In this remarkable footage, we see a deep-sea diver exploring the ocean, completely unaware of the danger lurking behind him. As he films his surroundings, a massive shark silently approaches from behind. The creature is enormous, its mouth slightly open, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. The tension is palpable as the shark moves closer and closer, eventually grazing the diver's head with its mouth. But then, something unexpected happens. It doesn't attack. The diver, sensing the presence of the shark, calmly curls up, instinctively protecting his head. Despite the terrifying proximity of the predator, the shark simply swims away, leaving the diver unharmed. What's going on here? This beetle was seen walking around with a hole in its back, and inside it was dried and hollow. How is it still moving? I know what you're thinking. Zombie, right? But those things aren't real. Yeah? Well, the truth might surprise you. Zombie beetles are actually a thing. In fact, some experts suggest that this could be the work of a parasitic wasp. These wasps are known to lay their eggs inside beetles, and when the larvae hatch, they eat their way out, leaving the beetle hollow. But in some cases, the beetle's nervous system remains intact, allowing it to move despite being essentially dead. Others think it might be a rare case of a beetle surviving severe damage or even a bizarre mutation. But I'm no Julius, and even I can tell that's not what's happening. Either way, what do you think? Next, I got something beautiful for you. Do you see this? Would you believe me if I told you that this was all natural? This is what rain on a bioluminescent sea looks like. Aaron had some conspiracy cooking, but thankfully Julius was here to explain things to us. He told us that what you're seeing wasn't magic, but it might as well be. Bioluminescence is nature's glow stick, caused by tiny marine organisms like plankton or algae that emit light when disturbed. So when rain falls and hits the surface, every droplet triggers a burst of glowing blue, green, and even violet sparkles. It's like the sea is dancing with the sky. The colors shift and shimmer depending on what type of organism and how dense they are in the water. And when it rains, it's like the stars came down for a swim. Every splash turns the dark ocean into a galaxy. Beautiful, mesmerizing, and 100% real. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.